We can start.
Good morning, friends, and welcome to the first digital edition of FRO. आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। ये हमारी फर्स्ट डिजिटल एडिशन है फ्रेंचाइजिंग की। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया ने we have done over 1,000 events starting from 2002 when our journey of a physical franchise event started, and we've done over 1,000 events, which would probably would be largest in the world any company would have done. And this has reached out to over a million unique visitors and serviced about 9,000 odd exhibitors. So this is a very important movement for us because after this lockdown and the COVID situation, the entire team has been working very hard to bring our events back. And we felt that with the digital age now, bringing a digital event would be a great idea. But it was not easy to put across event which can give you same experience which we used to get on a physical events. And it is also very emotional for us because at Franchise India, the last 3 months, our exhibition team has been working very, very hard to really bring our events back to our audience. And also, I would like to thank and start with the thanking of our exhibitors, especially who've come to support us in this journey. It's a very important because they have stood by us, they have stood by our cause, and they know how much value these events, especially FRO, has put in their growth journey and so on and so forth. So this is an event which is going to showcase about over 100 of different opportunities. We already have confirmed about 5,000 odd registrations, which is phenomenal in these times. This also tells that how much people are interested to take overlook a new opportunity for themselves. But before I start, I'll give you a little bit about this journey of entrepreneurship, how this really started, and why these events really started with us. It was way back in 2002 when we used to do a lot of media. We used to run a magazine, and we never had a physical event. We used to get a lot of people coming to us and asking and sending those days letters and sending that, look, I want to meet a company, and you can organize my meeting and so on and so forth. And that's where Sachin and me, put our head together and say, if there can be a platform where we can bring these two people together, then this would be a great idea. And that was the humble beginning. We started with a product called Business Opportunity Aapke Ghar. So we always wanted to bring in opportunities closer to the audience, and that was an idea. And when that time, I remember we traveled about 8 different cities every day, a new city. We used to take some brands along with us and go to this different city and represent those brands. And brands were also very sporting at that time. It was very tiring, but it was a great opportunity. We clearly realized that we are changing something. We're bringing a big change, and this change was that now we are bringing opportunities to people. And in this digital life, this is much easier. I still like, I'm an old school entrepreneur. I still like the setting of a booths and this whole morning when we used to go. I have a routine on, if I go to a show, I will reach up in the early morning. My younger brother actually goes even earlier than me, and we will run around, and we have to put these flexes and a lot of other things around our exhibition. And you will not believe, people when they walk it at 9:30, they find everything set, but just before 20 minutes before that, there was a crisis going on. To put up these shows is not easy. So we did this 1,000 odd shows, and the purpose was actually to bring in opportunities closer to people. And this is an opportunity even bigger now with this digital world, that we can bring in much more opportunities, much wider opportunities closer to our audience. So I thank once again for all the people who've supported us. I also want to thank Franchise India team, which has been working very, very hard. It's not easy. And I also like to say that we are very nervous to do this event first time. This is the first effort. So see from that perspective that this is the first endeavor for us to come digital. A lot of improvements would happen as we go along in terms of the user experience, how you will be able to gain that. Now let's go into what is happening on franchising in last 100 days, what kind of changes we saw and what opportunities we saw. Particularly for me, I've been involved in about 175 different webinars, reached out to many brands. We engaged over 260 different brands in taking them across to potential investors through Zoom calls, different other platform calls, and so on and so forth. And I can tell you, franchising is growing. This is a big statement to make when everything else is shrinking. franchising is growing, and there are many reasons to it. Three major reasons I always say that this is happening. Three major changes which is happening, which is encouraging the growth of franchising, is first the career change. This is the biggest time in our history where a lot of careers are going to change, right? So a lot of people are either leaving jobs by choice, or they're changing their jobs, or they don't see future in their jobs, and so forth. So a lot of that community is coming out. This is not a small community. It is estimated to be about 30 million people who want to change something in their career. And now they want to be more in control. They want to take something in their control. They want their financial freedom. A lot of them are thinking to start their own business. So this is a huge community, and this community was always very big in franchising. Franchising always used to get 35 to 40% people who are first-time entrepreneurs, and they're best if they are professionals because they come with a lot of experience. While they have to really think through that, they don't put all their monies now in business itself. They need to keep something for their saving and their fallback, and we are training them a lot on that perspective. But they need to take their life in control. There's a big one change is happening, is what I call the career change. The second change which is also happening is a business change, which means that you are doing some business which is no more relevant at this moment. You feel that that business might have to change, and you're looking for diversifying yourself. And a lot of business owners I know are diversifying. A lot of people who maybe in a travel business, or a business which is badly hit at this moment, they don't see it coming back. Maybe you are an exporter, and we are working with a lot of exporters who don't see that their business is coming back, but they make a good product and they're looking for domestic market. So they're looking at changing themselves, maybe starting their own brand, or partnering with a brand. So a lot of people are diversifying. Some are buying franchise, some are becoming franchisers. So a lot of these diversifications are actually also encouraging a big growth in franchising. I see this happening even more in next 2 quarters. The third change is location change. A lot of people are shifting their location. So see people living in, say, bigger cities and move back to their hometowns. And what are they going to do in the hometowns? They want to think on new ideas, and they want to start something in their hometown itself. Rather, we have started an initiative called Business from Your Hometown. If you've gone from Delhi to back to Kanpur, so you're not looking to come back. You're more comfortable there. You have a good house, everything is set, and now you need to look for some kind of an opportunity for you to start from that. We are getting a lot of inquiries from that. Rather, I think people are reaching out to us. I mean, I've got a IT guy he's called me from Bihar and says, I've come back here. I see a great opportunity because in India, population is good. That is everywhere. We have a lot of consumption everywhere in the every market, but we need to bring in more brands. Rather, I see franchising can really do the lot of filling this gap. Because I see a lot of markets which don't have adequate brand penetration. So franchising can fill that big gap in that. So these three changes are encouraging a growth in franchising. Another big change which is coming through is that last 5 6 years, if you really noticed, everybody was talking about startup and doing their own thing, and now they don't want to go alone. Nobody wants to go alone. They want to go with a network which is already done. They want to go with a brand which is already proven. They want to buy a business which is already stable and there is some know-how on that. And I'll come down to, if you are looking to buy a business, what careful steps you need to take. So FRO our events have actually given this big possibility for people to really choose right business for themselves. This is a brand. Franchise India itself stands for helping people when they're making a critical choice of their life of buying a business. And what I always liked about this, events, what they did, I call it a triple E. Three things they brought to the market. One, the ecosystem itself. Today, when we started, I and my younger brother started, and the business. That time we had no ecosystem. I mean, even to go to tell people that what was franchising, how it works, and so on and so forth, it was nothing there. And it was very difficult in the first 2 3 years to really tell people what we do. A lot of times we used to end up meeting just explaining franchising and what we do. And now this whole ecosystem is set. This ecosystem has a strong brands, a lot of emerging brands, a lot of new startup brands which is coming, and they continue to come in. And I can give you some statistics. Over 10,000 existing franchise systems are there in the market, and large part of them are made in India systems. While there are different levels of efficiencies which we all have to work through, that how they become more sustainable, more robust, but there is a big ecosystem and structure in that. I'm very proud that 80 to 90% of all these systems, Franchise India would have actually help them to come in franchising. Maybe we would have been giving them some help on that to come in the business, but 80 to 90% of all these franchise systems would have some contribution from franchise India. That's a big thing. But second, which is the biggest, is this whole ecosystem of these potential investors in this country. And there are millions and millions of people. Every home has somebody who's looking to start something for him. So there is a big ecosystem, and this is on both genders. This is on different age groups. Now we get people who are coming from directly from college. And the kids who come on college. Good part in India is that when kids come from a college, they still have an angel to fund them. Is his father. So father would come and invest with the child, and he will still get able to start that. So this ecosystem, and third was another ecosystem which was missing, and I should be proudly telling you, and I have never tell this in my any forum. The biggest ecosystem is also the consultant, the person who would actually make these two things happen. And not only franchise India is doing their role, but today I can tell you there are at least 1,000 practicing franchise consultants in the country, and not necessarily they are only with franchise India. They are also independent consultants, and everywhere in the country. Large part of them would be our ex-employees, sometimes our consultants who work with us in different capacities and so on and so forth. And I welcome them also. I welcome them because I feel that because they all are there, we all are together there, we are able to create this large industry called franchising. The industry cannot be made by one single company. And while we were the front runner of this industry, but I today welcome every single member who's doing their contribution in making this industry go to the next level. And their contribution, every single member's contribution, would make this industry thrive. And a lot of people are seeing their livelihood on franchise industry. It might be franchise brands, it might be investors, and it might be consultants. We all are one large industry which is coming in. So we created FRO, I would say, give a huge credit to this ecosystem. Now I go to some booths, and when I see the booths and I see some of my ex-employees, I feel very good because I feel that they've liked this. And I used to tell this in my training and say, you can leave franchise India, but you should never leave franchising. And that's something which I am now seeing. A lot of people are out there which are involved in franchising and doing very well. And I welcome them. They continue to do a good job. So that's one contribution this FRO has done. Second, education. Every of our conference, we had education, we had seminars, we had forums. We brought in a lot of international speakers. Ritu, my wife, has been working on bringing a lot of these international global speakers on the forum, and they brought in a lot of knowledge. I remember in the early days, we used to get many speakers coming in from different parts of the country. It used to cost us. It was not financially viable for us at that time, but we all decided that we need to make this investment. We need to make this investment because this country needs a lot of knowledge. And that knowledge is something, our responsibility, that we are able to give this knowledge to our investors. So that's one of the areas which we are committed. Franchising is extremely committed to. We continue to bring that knowledge. Third was excitement. Whenever these shows used to come to any city, FROs used to happen, or business opportunity show used to happen, or a big mega show, which is Franchise India, happens in Pragati Maidan, it used to create a lot of excitement for people to make that important decision. People don't take sometimes decisions. They always thought about it. I know a lot of people used to come to me and say, oh, we always thought about becoming an entrepreneur, and this was a time where I spent 2 days in your show, and I was just full day going around and entire thing. And by the evening, I decided this is the time I want to take that call, because every person wants to take his life in control. Everybody thinks about being their own boss and so on and so forth, but they never able to get that time, and they decide that aaj ye mujhe karna hai. I want to decide it now that I'm not going to work for anybody. I will take my life in my own control. And that's something these events did it. A lot of these decisions came in, because when they came in, they got excited, they put their time, because they're never able to take the time out. They used to think on the evening, sitting on a family dinner, that one day I would like to start myself, but they never started that, right? And then one day they were able to take one day, full day, 2 day off, and come to our show, spend the entire day or 2 days, and they made the decision. And this is the three things which this event always brings in. And digitally also, we will try to give you that. We'll create the ecosystem. I welcome everybody. I welcome every single member should be part of our events. Second is education, which is very important. We will continue to deliver education through our conferences, workshops, and so on and so forth. And excitement. Excitement is also very important. We will continue to excite people in these times. If you see, Franchise India is extremely effective, because I always say, No government is going to come and help small businesses. No government is going to come, especially in India. We should not compare what is happening in UK and what is happening in US. India, no entrepreneur is going to get a check from government. No entrepreneur is going to get that. And I fairly understand that. This is not a country which has a lot of other problems to handle. They cannot sign checks for business owners. Nobody is going to get anything from that. We have to create our own positivity. We need to help each other. Entrepreneurs have to help entrepreneurs. That's the way we will be able to come out of this big problem. And this positivity, somebody has to drive. And Franchise India is very, very committed. From the day this whole lockdown started, we said we will spread the positivity. We spread the positivity because we all have to, if we have to survive, we have to be involved. We have to run businesses. We need to create employment. A lot of that work is a responsibility as an entrepreneur with us. And so that's something which we will continue to encourage and put that. And positively, we have also got that good feedback. I also urge to large corporates. I hear these large corporates talking about, giving some free meals and trying to do some CSR and all the other things. While I appreciate all that, but I personally feel large corporates should create micro business opportunities. That's the real service to this country. It's not just giving some free meals here and there and trying to create a positive PR about it. That's not important. If you're really responsible corporate, create micro entrepreneurs opportunities. If Reliance creates small micro entrepreneur opportunities and invite partners, entrepreneurs to become partners with them. We're doing a lot of work for Mahindra. I respect Mahindra in that sense. Anand Mahindra is always about creating micro entrepreneur opportunities, because that creates a multiplier effect. If these responsible large corporates come through and these create these smaller franchise opportunities which people can buy and they can further create further employment, that's the only service to this country we need. Because you cannot feed this country, just this too large, this very large population. Freebies would never work in this country. You will dry up. The government would get bankrupt even if they try to make an attempt of giving people money in the bank accounts. 1 month, 2 months, you are bankrupt. You will not be able to afford. The only thing which can sustain is give them micro entrepreneur opportunity, which franchising can easily do. If you create these smaller opportunities where people can get empowered, say Amul comes in the idea that, look, I will like to have 10,000 franchisees to be given all over India. Amul is a trusted brand. It can be a micro entrepreneur franchise opportunity. People can start 5-7 lakh rupees of franchise. And what he's going to do, every single person would hire 2 or 3 people. And that creates 30,000 jobs. So it is a multiplier effect. You will save families if you continue to create this opportunity. And especially with the franchising, should be encouraged by a lot of these larger corporates. Would do everybody good, and if they are able to encourage that. So my message to all large corporates is, think through in your corporate how you can build some business model, some entrepreneurial business model, and invite these potential franchisees to come and join you, and that would create a much bigger service to the country rather than just giving them freebies, because no corporate alone can and create enough jobs and create. Only when you open up and you unlock and you unlock entrepreneurship and give people chance to become partner with you, that's where the real value comes in. Now, a little bit for our friends who are come in on a buying a franchise, I'll give you some tips before you make a decision. Rather, I'm doing a 6 o'clock a special seminar webinar which is called Franchise Sahi Hai, where we'll take you through before you make a decision of buying a business. आप अपने लिए डिसीजन लेने से पहले ये जाने कि आपके लिए बिजनेस सही है या नहीं. तो we will talk about that in 6 o'clock in the evening, but I'll give you 4 critical things which you should always look before you make an investment decision for buying any business. First, always look at predictability of the business model. कि जो आप बिजनेस चुन रहे हैं, जो भी बिजनेस आप सिलेक्ट कर रहे हैं, ये क्या अगले 5 साल या 10 साल आपके लिए प्रिडिक्टेबिलिटी लाएगा, आपके लिए वो परफॉर्मेंस लाएगा? क्या आपके अपने पर्सनल गोल्स, जो आपके गोल्स हैं, और ये जो आपके फाइनेंशियल गोल्स हैं, ये मैच हो सकेंगे? ऐसी प्रिडिक्टेबिलिटी इस बिजनेस में दिखती है. और आपको खुद जानना है, क्योंकि हर फ्रेंचाइज जो है वो ऑपरेटर खुद चलाता है. आप खुद देख सकते हैं कि उस अपॉर्चुनिटी के अंदर आप देख पा रहे हैं वो प्रेडिक्टेबिलिटी. आप किसी और की आंखों से मत देखिए. You don't see from others' eyes. See it from your own eyes. That are you able to see that predictability in that same business? Because when you look at from other people's eyes, you are sometimes not really looking at the right stuff, right? You're not sure. But when you look at your from your own eyes, you know what is going to be done. So please see it from your eyes, that are you able to see clear predictability in that business model? That's one. And most of the times I have realized, and when people are able to see themselves, even if the franchisor is not ready, they are ready. They would make it happen. I know a lot of companies where actually it's a truth that 80% of the work is done by the franchisee and 20% is brought by the franchisor. So it's actually importance with the franchisees. While it is presented other way, people think that the franchisor is doing 80% of work and you just have to do 20%. Answer is no. You get the brand, you get the know-how, and you have to devise the model and you have to run the model. You need to bring your sweat, and then only the business model is successful. So you need to really see, is it predictability there in the business model? Then only go there. Second, sustainability. Sustainability has become very important aspect for us in running, and I've been saying this for last 4 years, and almost every show I opened up and I said, talk about sustainability for franchisors to really conceive concepts which can sustain in the markets, and these very uncertain markets, and everything changes every single day. You have no predictability of what is going on. And so how do you make business models sustainable? And also micro sustainability of that unit you take. How do you make that sustainable? How do you make it more efficient? And then only it will be able to do that. Third is scalability, because I feel that a lot of people start a franchise and they get quickly fatigued. They feel that this is it, and they don't see continuous growth. So how do you see an opportunity and where you are able to see a continuous growth, and you are able to expand that? Now there's a lot of opportunities available in a master franchise, area franchise. Even in your business, you can start multi-unit franchise. All that gives you a great amount of sustainability, scalability in the business model. So always look at even scalability in business. And last is credibility. Credibility is very critical to go and check on the brand which you are buying, check the background of the brand, check the performance of a brand, talk to both very satisfied franchisees and not so satisfied franchisees, and take your own argument why this not satisfied franchisee is not happy, because the problem lies with the franchisee or the franchisor. And talk to the positive guy also, see what he has done differently, and to make the business model, and then make your assumption. And don't take an impulse decision. We call it, always divide your buying a business into three parts: information, evaluation, and negotiation. Never bypass this. This has been a methodology for franchise India for many years. Another thing which is very important, which is going to be my last part, is that a lot of people are coming to me and asking me what business we should buy. We should buy a business which would do post COVID and right in structure. So my answer to them is, when you buy business, you don't buy for 3 months, you don't buy for 6 months, you buy a business for 10 years. So think through what business is going to last 10 years, and then your ideation might change. You might start thinking of what is great about this country. This great about this country is consumption. We have more people than any part of the world. We are the second most populated country, and we could become the largest population country in the world. So nothing is going to change. Everything is going to come back, and the way we used to consume, we will still go to restaurants, we still go to pubs, we still go to other places, we still go to gyms. Everything would come back with a little bit of changes which would be, I would call, positive changes in your life. Only things in last 3 months which are positive changes in your life, you might retain them, and rest you will return back to what you always used to do. So think through in terms of what you want to be looking at 5 to 10 years in this journey. Also, you need to really have plan for 6 months of gestation. Right now, start. This is the best time to start with a minimalistic structure, but 6 months, have a gestation period. So if you had 40 lakh rupees to invest, choose a business which is 20 lakh rupees. It would be great time, because you will get a rentals cheaper, you will get a lot of learning curve. Franchisor would also help you in terms of setting up everything. And if you say you get a rental cheaper now, next 5 years you're going to get benefit of it. And you just do the maths, you'll find that you will be in actually in more gain than actually starting when businesses and real estate and the rentals are come back to the same normal situation. So it's a good time to look at an opportunity, but also keep maybe 6 months of gestation or a working capital alongside with you, and maybe choose a lower capital deployment business, and keep a lot of money in reserve. You'll be very, very successful. My another message to our franchise brands is, please welcome real true entrepreneurs at this stage. Bend yourself, give them better opportunities, offers. If you can cut down your franchise fees, please cut down, give them an offer. If you want to really give them 6 months of variation and in the royalties, give them that. If you want to pass an extra margin, give them the extra margin. Show that you are also equally interested or more interested. And that's the responsibility with every single franchisor also, is that they step up to help. And my again message to large corporates is, they have to even step up. They need to really encourage entrepreneurship, and that's the service which we all have to do. Final message is that we all have to help each other in these times. We as entrepreneurs have to stand by each other, be at a valuable member of this industry, this franchise industry. We all have to stand by each other. So I thank you from bottom of my heart that you all have supported us for so many years, last 23 years, the journey of Franchise India. And our event journey we started in 2002. You've always supported us. So we seek your support ongoing also. And we always keep, we will welcome your advice, especially reach out to me on your feedback on the show, and give me critical feedback also. There's no problem. And we like critical feedbacks. People say, oh, I didn't get the user experience, and a lot of other things which physical events would have, digital events would not have. But digital events have other benefits. There a lot of people used to complain when we used to do physical events, that where would I get my tea, and where would I get my coffee, and where would I get water. Now you have no problem. You're sitting at home and you're enjoying the event, and you're getting a home baked meal with you. So there are benefits for enjoying a digital event. So enjoy your digital event. This is the first digital event of Franchise India, and we thank you once again for helping us to put this together. And we will continue to bring in more editions as we go along. Thank you very much.